Jagaradev, Jaya Masters. The essence of the deep teachings, really just the complete turning point of your life, is as follows. If things are not well inside, you're not comfortable, you have needs, you feel defensive, you're not comfortable inside, you're going to want to do something about it. I'm sure you've noticed that. There's two things you can do about it, and they are night and day different. But it takes time to make a transition. One, you can let your mind tell you, and it will, what needs to happen for you to feel better. What needs to happen for the pain to stop. What needs to happen for you to get what you want. It will scream, it will yell, it will throw tantrums. You will not be able to stop it. Have you noticed? Has anyone noticed? Okay? And the more that you're uncomfortable, the more it does that. And what it will always do is tell you what has to happen outside of you, now or in the future, in order to make this better. Period. It will always do that. Okay, fine. What it tells you to do, I'm not interested. We're all different. It tells you different things. You've got different patterns in there and so on. We can talk about that later. The alternative is not that you don't have disturbance, because you do. The alternative is not that it's not comfortable, because it's not. You can't make believe it's something it's not. That's just suppression. That's meaningless. Can't hide. You got to deal with truth. But the alternative to what do I do to make this feel better? What do I need? What should I get? What do I say? Just what can I do? Yell, scream, run, something. Fight or flight. They say that, don't they? Okay? You do that inside. The alternative is, why is this bothering me? Not what do I do about the fact that it's bothering me. That is the entire difference between what they call a worldly life, which I'm not using that about money or a derogatory term. It just means a life that you think the solution is outside of you. It's about somebody saying they're sorry. You win in the lottery, that'll do it. I need a vacation, that'll do it. I need to change my relationship, that'll do it. I need to change my job, that'll do it. It's going to tell you something outside of you to try to compensate for the fact that you're not comfortable. The alternative, and it's very rare, right? But you all are learning. People write me all the time. I see they're struggling to learn this. The alternative is to say, why am I not okay? And your immediate response, but you all are too wise for that, is to say, because I haven't found a new job. In other words, the reason I'm not okay is I haven't found what will compensate for the fact that I'm not okay. That's why I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I need a cigarette. I'm not okay. I need a drink. That's not why you're not okay. You want the cigarette, you want the drink, you want the joint, you want the vacation, you want to change jobs, you want a new relationship, because you're not okay. You were not okay first. That was an attempted solution or compensation for the fact that you might feel better if this were to happen. That is a vast difference. That is the essence of the difference that will guide your life. The other alternative is not to say what do I do about it, it's why is it this way? Why did I get bothered by this? All right? And the answer is not, well, anybody would. Okay? I look at his tone. Or, my mother used to talk to me like that. Of course it bothers me. You see what I'm saying? You're basically saying it's the outside that's causing the problem, therefore the outside is the solution. The other is to say, why am I not okay? Why did this bother me? And you finally reach the state of witness clarity to sit there and say, I was not okay first, and I'll clue you in, I was not okay yesterday also, before this person said that. It just wasn't activated. It's been in there. I used to ask people, I don't work one-on-one anyways, with anybody, but I would, if I challenged them, I would sit there and say, are you telling me you never felt this ever before in your life? This fear, this anxiety, this defensiveness? Well, no. Okay. It was in there to start with. This is just what stimulated it. So the question is not what do I do about to offset the fact that I'm carrying this inside of me, a target. My stuff got hit. How's that? It's why do I have stuff in there? That change in attitude of what do I do about it to do why is it happening That's the difference of a spiritual life and a worldly life. If you are bothered, there are two directions you can go. One is, what do I do about it? The other is, why is it happening? I can't make it any clearer. That's what it means to grow spiritually. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get hit. It doesn't mean you're not going to slip, right, and defend yourself and carry on. But when you come back, you go, uh-oh. I just did something to try and push it away and try to, what do I do about it? I went in the direction of, what do I do about it? This is bothering me because he forgot my anniversary or she forgot the anniversary. And it really bothered me last year and the year before. I can't handle it if it happens again. What do I do about it? Well, I could leave little reminders around the house. I could have somebody call him and remind him, why are you being so quiet? Because you do this stuff. You hear me? It doesn't even that it got hit. You don't want it to get hit. So what you're doing all the time is, I'm either bothered, I'm afraid of being bothered, I got bothered before, I don't want it to happen again. What do I do about it? As opposed to, why? Why does it bother me that he forgets the anniversary? Why did it bother me last year? Why did it bother me? It's a day. It's a day. There's 365 of them. Well, it's the day you got married. It's also a day you got born. It's a day you had an operation. All kinds of things happen every single day. What are you doing with this? All right? Now let's understand what it means instead of asking, what do I do about it? I showed you what you can do about it. Make sure he's reminded. Do this, do that. Some hint. Do something, right? Just make sure you protect yourself, right? As opposed to, why am I this way? Why is it that way? And what you're going to see is because you don't feel loved in that particular situation. You're not sure somebody loves you. You're not sure that you're accepted. You're not sure that you're pleasing somebody. And you've said that, for God's sakes, if I'm married to somebody and they love me, they're going to remember the anniversary. Of course they are, right? Well, what if you feel loved? What if you feel so loved that you never even think about it? You're the one who forgets it. You're so filled with love for your whole relationship, for the person to come home. You're so excited they're going to come home that you don't even know what day it is. You're intoxicated with love. Which one you want? To try and make sure nothing happens to hit your stuff? Or find out why you have stuff? That's what it means to work inside instead of outside. If you work outside, you may succeed, you may not. And usually it'll work a little bit and it won't really work. You remember the anniversary, but then the next day, what about the day? Wait a minute. Some people start celebrating 5 days before the anniversary. Some people will say, oh, this is our anniversary. Really? You've been together a year? No, 3 days. It's our 3-day anniversary. And that person's very insecure. And I hope he or she remembers it. Okay? Which would you rather have? That you temporarily manipulate the world outside of you, people, places, and things, so that you feel a little bit better inside, or that you always feel fine inside because you got rid of the reason that you're so weird. There's nothing wrong with having anniversaries, nothing wrong with it going nice and all this kind of stuff, right? But it's a trap. It doesn't mean you shouldn't respect the anniversary. It doesn't mean, it's not about doing and not doing. It's not about the outside world. It's about how you're doing inside. And are you using every moment of your life to find out why you are such a problem? Are you a problem? Come on. All right? Is there a problem in there? Are you sensitive? Do you get hit? Does anybody ever get defensive? Does anybody ever feel defensiveness come up inside and make its way out? Yes or no? The ego will always be defensive. It will always, no, fight or flight. Why? One defensiveness may be, fighting. Don't you dare say that. Get away from me, blah, blah, blah. Right? The other is you run away. That's defending yourself also. It's making sure that stuff doesn't get hit. Okay? Ego's always defensive, one way or the other. Why? Now we can go down to have a deep talk. Why is it that way in there? I'm going to keep saying, not what do I do about it? Not how can I protect it? Why do you want to protect that stuff in there? You hear me? Do you think you win if you're defensive and somebody says, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything? You lost. You defended your defensiveness. Therefore, you will have it even stronger next time. And if you sit there and say, I like it that way, then I don't know why you're here. All right? Because you're welcome to go out there. There's nothing wrong with it until you wake up and realize it doesn't work. But it felt better. Yeah, but you kept it. You kept it, and you'll be sensitive about that person. You'll be sensitive about that subject. You'll be sensitive about the situation that happened. You're saying you'll remember it because you kept it. You decided to keep it. The spiritual path is, I don't want to keep it. I'm not done yet. I guarantee that. But I told you, if you're growing spiritually, when you wake up in the morning, every single morning, you are a different person that woke up yesterday morning. Why? Because one more thing you didn't defend. One more thing you didn't grab for. One more thing, just one tiny one, you didn't try to compensate for the problem you have inside yourself. The problem is not the other person. The problem is never the other person. Who taught you that? We're coming into Christmas. Basically, you start off with, what does it mean to not defend yourself? What did Christ say? Forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. Not my will, but thy will. And that result is there's just time after time after time after time that he showed it is not about defending yourself. It is not about getting for yourself. It is about letting go of yourself. And he specifically said, you must die to be reborn. That's what it means. You have to be willing to let go of who you think you are, who you're busy being, who you're busy defending, who you're busy protecting and getting and all this junk, who you're busy compensating for. How's that? I have a problem, therefore you have a problem. My problem is your problem. I'm sensitive about this subject. Watch it. I don't like to forget my anniversary. You're on thin ice, baby. All right? My problem became your problem. Why? Because you're supposed to compensate. I'm trying to compensate for my problem, and that means protecting myself, defending myself, manipulating the world around me so that it doesn't bother me, and that is how I'm supposed to be. Okay, fine. Be like that until you catch on that it doesn't work. How do I know it doesn't work? Because you've been doing it every day of your life for your entire life. Didn't you? I'm going to behave really, really special so I get the toy I want for Christmas. I'm going to really suck up to mommy and daddy and show how good I am. So, in other words, I'm compensating and manipulating the world because I'm not okay. I'm not okay with the toys I have. I'm not okay with the way parents treat me. I'm not okay with my friends. I'm not okay. In high school, nobody's okay. Because the ego's getting built. And everybody's busy building that thing, all right? I hope you see. And so you're not okay. You know, the ones that are most popular, they're not okay. They're busy being popular. And if somebody doesn't respect them, they don't like them. They get away from them. It's just, come on, you know the game. All right? Let's cold shoulder them. I say, no, not being the way I want them to be. You try to manipulate the world so that you feel more comfortable inside. Can anybody relate to that? You try to manipulate the world so you don't feel worse. I'm going to repeat that. That's the essence of the outer life. I'm going to manipulate the world so that the moments unfolding in front of me make me more comfortable. And I'm going to manipulate the world so the moments unfolding in front of me do not make me less comfortable. Anybody can relate to that? Have you not been doing that your whole life? You're just doing different things to get different things. So it keeps changing. But the process is exactly the same. I'm not okay, but there are things that y'all can do that'll make me better. And there are things y'all can do that'll make me worse. Get with the program. So basically, you come down to realizing that's the crux of the matter. Am I asking, what do you need to do to make me feel better and not feel worse? Or, why do I have this problem? Why am I not okay? Listen to me. Why am I not okay all the time? Why is my natural state not love? And now I just got to go out and share it. Doesn't matter what you do. What did Christ say? Love thy enemies. That's like a non sequitur to most people. I'll make believe I am, but I don't. Okay? No, it's not like that. If you're fine inside, you think it's funny that someone doesn't like you. I told you, you want to measure your level of spirituality? Don't measure it by how hours you meditate or with your nice aura floating around you or something like that. Or how many spiritual people you met, right? You went to visit different gurus and Himalayas and picked up their little icons and ashtrays and stuff. And look, I have a collection, right? That's not what makes you spiritual. What makes you spiritual is as follows. You're standing there with a group of your friends. And you're talking, getting along, and all of a sudden, a person over there in the distance starts to walk towards you all. And you notice, and you blush a little bit, and you say, oh my God, here comes George. Like, He thinks I walk on water. It's really embarrassing, right? Just wait to see what he has to say, because he always does it, right? I'm sorry, right? And they come up, and George, accolade. You're most beautiful. There you are. I've loved you since kindergarten, and you're so beautiful, and blah, 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 blah. All right, fine. Now George goes. A little while later, you're talking, and here comes Frank, right? And you look, and you react exactly the same. Oh, there's Frank. You say, wait, he hates my guts. Wait till you see what he says. He never says it. He says the meanest thing. It's so exciting. Come on, wait, you'll see. Right? Now you got somewheres. It's like, you're fine. What's the difference? What George or Frank have to say about you? Nothing. The reason it makes a difference is because you're not okay. And you need this positive reinforcement to say, hey, you're doing well. You heard me? The part that would make you not say I'm right is generally in our culture and society, all through your school, through everything, you are not taught that you're an ecstatic being and that inside of you is the most beautiful thing that ever was, and that any love that you actually feel is coming from inside, isn't it? It's not out there. When you really love somebody and they're hugging you, are your eyes open, checking it out? No, you're melting into what? Into the inner flow of energy. Love is an inner flow of energy. Beauty is an inner state. You turn the corner and there's a sunset. You don't get out of the car and go run after the sunset. It blows your mind. The next thing you know, you go bye-bye. Yes or no? Ever go bye-bye? Where do you go when you go bye-bye? Outside or inside? Okay. The source of love is inside. The source of beauty is inside. The source of music is inside. The source of ecstasy is inside. Joy. Every single thing that you feel it inside. When you get all excited and happy and inspired, where do you feel it? Inside. It comes from inside and drives you to express outside, doesn't it? It is always in there. It has always been in there. It is always in there. There's not a single thing you will ever do that will make it not be in there. Every single one of you. Period. Oh, no one told me that. They tried to teach me how to control myself. They tried to teach me how to drive a nice car and how to win friends and influence people. Spirituality says, why do you want to win friends and influence people? What's wrong with you? What happens if you don't win the friend or influence the people? You feel bad, don't you? You feel better if you do win the friend and influence the people. That's because you're not okay. Yogis that are great and ecstatic, they go into the mountains and hide and throw rocks at people when they come near them. They do. All right, the really great ones. It's beautiful. What stories you read. All right, what do they need you for? Okay, there's nothing enters their mind. If you're okay, you don't do anything. All right. Like I told you, you're in the arms of your beloved. You never loved anybody that much in your entire life. They've been gone for years, and you've been riding each other, and they just showed back up, and you're in their arms, and you're hugging, right? And there's a knock at the door. Would you want some pizza? Leave me alone. Would you like a diamond? Leave me alone. If you're experiencing what you want to experience, that's all you say to anybody. Leave me alone. All right? I am feeling what I want to feel. I'm feeling what I've always longed to feel. You understand? It's because you need. It's because you're not whole. It's because you're not, you are whole, but you're not experiencing the wholeness. You're feeling lacking. You're feeling exposure. You're feeling sensitive. You hear me? You're feeling vulnerable. How's that? Therefore, you need things that will protect you, and that will everything we're talking about. I'm not okay, so I want the moments in front of me to unfold so that I am okay. A big's better, and I don't want them to unfold to where I'm not okay. Period. It's as simple as that. Or, instead of doing that work of manipulating and controlling everything, I want to find out why I'm not okay. I want to find out if it's true, and every master that ever lived taught you this, that there is, I've used Christ's words, right? As I sit by the throne of my Father, that's a state of consciousness. As I sit by the throne of my Father, so you shall sit by my throne. And these things that I do shall do these and even greater things. Oh, I'm not some little peon. What are the great mantras that come from the Hindu tradition? Soham, I am He. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahma. Shivaham, I am Shiva. In other words, they're teaching you what you should be taught. You're the greatest thing that ever walked the face of the earth. Okay, so now that we've looked at the difference between what do I do about the fact that I'm not okay and why am I not okay? No matter how many times I say it, I hope you hear me. Don't ever forget it. Not what do I do about the fact. Why am I not okay? One is temporary and is a struggle that's very, very difficult to try and manipulate the moments so that what you want, right? If you haven't noticed yet, and that they're never the way you don't want, right? And the other is a permanent state of gradually working your way back to the purest being inside of you, which is pure love, pure joy. Every wonderful thing you ever felt came from there. And there's no reason you don't have it all the time. It's called unconditional well-being as opposed to conditional well-being. All right, so we know how you go about trying to get things the way you want. How do you ask the question, why am I not okay? First, you have to understand there's a reason you're not okay. And don't you dare say it's because you don't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or enough money. Those are what you're using to compensate for the fact that you're not okay, or wish you could be using to compensate you're not okay. The question is really why you're not okay. And I've taught this 1,000 times. I teach it quickly again. You're not okay because you are blocking the flow of energy inside of you that is okay. You're blocking it. You've done a stupid thing. You put stuff inside of your psyche that blocks the flow of your Shakti, that blocks the flow of spirit, that blocks the flow. Well, that's silly. If I had the most beautiful flow that could ever exist inside of me, I wouldn't block it. How about you? I don't block that thing. It's beautiful. How did I block it? You blocked it by trying to push away what you don't like. When something happens that you don't like, you first try to stop it so it doesn't come all the way in. You understand? You have that tendency, don't you? Push it away. Don't say that. You shouldn't have said that. I can't handle this. You're in there doing that. That's what blocks it. Every time you push something away, where do you think it went? It goes down into your Shakti flow. It goes down into your heart. It gets stored there, just like Freud's suppressions and repressions. But it's broader than just clinical suppression and repression. It's resistance. Any resistance to the energy that's passing through you, the outside world causes things to come inside of you. They come in. You experience them. If you don't like the experience, you push it away. When you push it away, those are the blockages. That act of pushing things away is what is storing inside of you. I always ask the same question. If you push away and store inside of you everything that ever bothered you, what's it going to be like in there? Bothered. That's why it's bothered in there. It's the most logical thing in the whole world. Have you not stored stuff in there? Which stuff? The stuff I couldn't handle. The stuff that wasn't comfortable. The stuff that I didn't like. The stuff that wasn't fair. Stuff. I stored stuff. Does it come back up? What does that mean? It was stored in there. Okay? If it wasn't stored in there, it doesn't come back up, does it? So you store stuff in there. You stored every single thing that ever bothered you inside of you because you didn't want to experience it. So now there's a crux. It's true you didn't want to experience it, did you? And what did you do with it? Since you did experience it, I'm too logical. You obviously experienced it or you wouldn't know you didn't want to experience it. How's that for logic? Okay? I always ask you, right? Do you mind experiencing blah, blah, blah? Well, I don't know what it is. Well, we'll have to find out what it is. Decide whether I want to experience it or not. All right? You're in there pushing away things that are not comfortable. And that means you're storing inside of you everything that ever happened to you that's not comfortable. That is not wise. Not only are you storing what's not comfortable, therefore it's going to come back up in your dreams during the day. People say things. So basically something happens, right? Or you're afraid. Something doesn't even happen. You're afraid it'll happen. So not only did you store the garbage, so it keeps bothering you, but the part you don't understand, that a spiritual person does, is you push that on top of the most beautiful thing that exists in the universe. That flow of Shakti, that flow of spirit, that flow, the rush of holy waters, right? This beautiful flow that's flowing inside of you all the time. It cannot flow because you push this stuff on top of it. So you get a double whammy. One, you have this stuff keeps coming back up and you're afraid of it. And two, you block the most beautiful thing in your whole world. All right? Again, how do I prove that? Somebody comes up to you and talks to you exactly right. They look exactly right. Their hair is exactly right. Their accent is exactly right. Their clothes are exactly right. Their job that they have, that they tell you anyways, is exactly right. The car is exactly right. You feel attracted to that person. You may even feel love. Love at first sight. How does the love at first sight happen? Oh, it happens when somebody's exactly the opposite way that you like. No, I don't think so. It happens when the person, I call it tiptoes through the tulips, manages to get around your garbage. They don't slurp their soup. Their father wasn't this and that like yours was. And like they don't have the accent like your Uncle George had, which you couldn't stand. It has to be exactly right. And what will happen? It follows an opening path so that that which is beautiful inside of you managed to come out. It was blocked, but you opened, didn't you? I feel so open around this person. The person did not do that. You did that. Well, prove it. Have them do one thing you don't like. Have them show up for your third date in a bow tie. And Uncle George wore bow ties and pinched your cheek. And that's it, man. You're not going to feel love for that person. Okay. Because it matched your stuff, you opened. You were willing to not defend yourself, to protect yourself, to close yourself. And when you opened, that which is behind all your garbage came up. And you felt love. So basically, instead of asking, what do I do to feel better? You ask, why don't I feel okay? Why don't I feel love? Why don't I feel acceptance? Why do I need everybody's accolades and saying nice things? Why do I need all this stuff? And you're going to see eventually, because I blocked my natural flow of spirit, of Shakti, of Chi, call it whatever you want. I blocked it with all this garbage that I shoved down on top of it. Okay, so now when the question becomes, I'm scared, I don't feel okay, why? You know why. Your mind will tend to blame it on what somebody just did. Do you hear me? It always will do that. What you're blaming it on is personal to you. It's based on your past experiences. Look how they're standing. Look how close. Can you stand when somebody talks to you real close and they come, right? Or so far away. Why are they standing so far away? Right? I like this one, right? Why do they fold their arms across the third chakra? They must be protecting something. Let's do some body language. Is there body language? Yes. What I want to know is, why do you care? There's always a deeper way to look at it. In other words, why are you sitting there analyzing somebody's body language? Because I'm scared and I want to know whether I can protect myself, whether I need to protect myself, whether I can trust them, whether they're being honest. Why do you care? Because I might get hurt. No, when you're filled with love and joy, you think it's funny. You're just having fun with everything. You don't sit there and say, what do I do with the fact that their body language says they're protecting themselves? That's for you, literally. If you see that, you said, oh, how can I help? Whole different ball game. You see it? That's what it means to turn to the spiritual path. You ask, why am I being bothered by this? Not what do I do about it? So now the answer you should, I hope, is when you ask the question, why am I bothered like this? It should be an instantaneous recognition, because I have garbage inside of me and it's being hit. And if it wasn't there, I wouldn't be hit. Do you understand that? Anything that bothers you might not bother somebody else, right or wrong. Remember that. You got programmed by your past experiences. And so now that's how you're deciding what you want, what you don't want, and so on and so forth. So basically, eventually, when you ask that question, which I hope you do now, instead of what do I do about it, why is this bothering me? The answer is because I've stored stuff inside of me from my past, and it's stimulating that, and I'm getting closed. It's an immediate reaction, isn't it? Okay, so what do I do about that? I always teach you this. There's only one way out. That's through. But that's what I want to talk about a little bit, what through means. Okay, I've got this stuff in here. Honest, real, yes. I got it. You hit it. Thanks. Are you saying thanks? You hit it. Look, are you saying thanks a lot? Okay, that depends on how spiritual you are. If your entire intention of your entire life is to not have the stuff in there, you say thanks. I wasn't sure that was still in there. Now I see it is. All you did was say the name of my ex. Oh my God, my heart's like that. Or even 3 years later. All right, thank you. Thank you. I got some work to do. Not, why'd you mention that name? You ruined my night. See, there you go. What do I do about it? Versus why is it there? So you reach the point, I hope you're there, where you're a why is it there person. As much as you can, every moment of every day, stuff's causing disturbance. And you're in there first looking at it, saying, why is this bothering me? Why is this bothering me? You're working hard at a job and somebody else gets the promotion. Are you serious? I teach you all the time. Which teaching do you want? There's 8.3 billion people on the planet Earth. Who knows what promotions they got? Are you telling me you're so small that the only thing that matters to you in the whole world is your little stupid ego. Now, I deserve that. I worked hard for that. That's the kind of stuff you look at and say, why is this bothering me? Why don't I feel good for the guy? Congratulations. And you mean it. It's incomprehensible, isn't it? Not if you're okay. If you're okay, sure, you work and you strive for things, but you don't care. It's not like I think it's fascinating. It fascinates me. I don't know if you know that, but Major League Baseball, after a baseball game, and baseball's not so violent, they don't hug. They don't congratulate each other. They don't. Just walk off the field, both teams. Football, holy mackerel, they beat the hell out of each other hard as they can the entire time. At the end of the game, right there on the field, they hug, congratulate each other. Did you notice that? Anybody notice that? See, you can do that. It's a sport. I've seen quarterbacks go up to each other, glowing. Wow, great game. Wow. Or I've always admired you. Wow. After an hour of beating the hell out of each other. Okay, that's pretty impressive, isn't it? All right, it's teaching you something. You can be competitive to work for things, but it doesn't have to be you against somebody else. It's just you're competing with yourself to be better. How's that? I'm trying to bring out the best that I can in me because it's fun. I would do it even if you weren't here, that kind of thing, right? I'm learning to paint or play the piano or do something, not for you, not to make money, not to sell it, just to perfect my ability to express myself. Isn't that more beautiful? Well, that's how sports are supposed to be like. So basically, you're sitting on a planet. I tell you this all the time. What do I do if I've been working for something and he, the ego in there, right? He's disappointed that he didn't get it. Something like that, right? I take him by the hand. As we're going to talk about, how do you do this? You catch it. You right away see the energy start to drop, right? You're all excited. Energy, does it happen? Go on. That means you're starting to close your heart. Close your heart because somebody else got a job on a tiny spot in a planet of which 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. I don't know why that doesn't blow your mind. It liberates me instantly. If that were to happen inside of me, I just take him by the hand, I take him out to space, 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun, and you care that much. You're willing to give up your spirituality, give up your love, give up your joy. You were feeling joy a moment ago. Now, because somebody else got the stupid office, you don't feel joy. You give up that joy because of one spot, of one event that's happening on some stupid planet out of 8.3 billion people and 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun, and there's 300 billion stars in your galaxy, and there's 2 trillion galaxies. What did you say was bothering you? Is that rational? Is that reasonable? That's absurd. And if you get bothered, you gave up the joy that you felt by not being bothered. Why would you do that? You're giving up something beautiful for something ugly, for something uncomfortable. For what reason? You decided. What if deep inside you didn't want that promotion, you like your vacations, you don't want to work that hard, and the difference in pay ain't worth what? I want to spend time with my family, but you still got to be a trooper, work for the company, and they announce Sally got the office instead of you. Ecstasy. Wait till I tell my wife, oh my God, this is so... Right or wrong, you're doing this. There is nothing intrinsically out there that can close your heart. You have to do it. Well, isn't that a stupid thing to do? If what you want to do is feel love, if you want to feel joy, if you want to feel inspiration, if you want to feel just wow every morning. I told you how a great being wakes up. I'm back. I wonder what's going to happen today. That's what the Bible, what Christ meant when he said, lest ye be as little children. It means you're just filled with joy about nothing. A little kid can take a stick and a rock and have fun all day. You hear me? If they're open. And so basically, why not be like that? You're just on a little planet. Please remember that. You're a tiny little planet in the middle of nowhere for a few years. And you're going to make this mess out of this thing? And worse yet, you have nothing but ecstasy pouring inside of you. Okay? But you fell from the garden. That's what it means. You fell from your natural state of total well-being into this ego that says, no, I can't feel good unless you're this way and you're that way, and everything's exactly the way I want it to be, and I don't have to worry about anything. That's the fall from the garden. You fell from the garden. But what's that tree called? The tree of self-knowledge. What's self-knowledge? Now I know myself as something individual. I am my ego, not I am God. All right? So basically you wake up and you ask that question when something happens. Why am I not okay? Why did this bother me? Why am I so scared? Why? Just simple, all right? And the answer is because you blocked the flow of your natural energy. Okay, fine. So now I have an answer. What do I do about it? That's a whole other ball game. But at least if you understand, that's 70, 80% of the whole process. I understand. The problem is me. The problem is not you. The problem is not outside. The problem is that I have set up these preferences and concepts and views and opinions and hopes and dreams and all this stuff inside my mind. And if the outside matches them, I'm doing okay. And if it really matches them, I'm in love. It's the greatest day of my life. Why? Because everything matched what I want. Therefore, I opened. And if it doesn't match, it's the worst day of my life. I'm depressed. I told you, no one is depressed. They are watching a depressed psyche. How do you know you're depressed? Oh, what would you fight with me? You said you're depressed. I've been depressed for years. How do you know? What do you mean, how do I know? How do you know you're depressed? Because I'm in here, and it's depressed in here. Who's the eye that's in there that notices it's depressed in there? Because I guarantee you that eye is not depressed. It's watching something that's depressed, isn't it? If all of a sudden something happened, your girlfriend came back and said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I left you. You're the most important thing in my whole life. I don't know how I got lost. Can I come back? You're not depressed anymore, are you? Okay? So you're not depressed. You're looking at a closed heart and a depressed psyche and negative thoughts and so on. So you wake up and you realize, I'm doing this. I'm storing this stuff inside of me. I'm the one who's reacting that way. I like that because then it means you don't have to. You can work on liberating yourself. You can work on freeing yourself. You can work on purifying this mess you stored inside yourself. And eventually, like I said, the event happens, you start getting weird. And I just mean even tiny weird. That's why I teach, like, if the driver in front of you bothers you, own it. If the weather bothers you, it's hot, it's raining, I have to get out of the car and deliver. Why does it have to rain? Why does it rain on my birthday? It doesn't know it's your birthday. The driver in front of you doesn't know you, and he doesn't hear you talking to him. So you start getting down to where the rubber hits the road. And you sit there and say, boy, am I making a mess in here. I'm sitting in a little planet spinner in the middle of nowhere, making myself crazy, right? The guy's driving 10 miles an hour below the speed limit. Handle it, go on. You're catching every light on your way into town. Every light turns red. How you doing? You wake up. And you realize the moment in front of you is not bothering you. You're bothering yourself about the moment in front of you. So the answer is, why am I not okay? Why am I bothered? Because you're bothering yourself. The weather cannot bother you, but you can bother yourself about the weather. The person in front of you, driver, cannot bother you, but you can bother yourself about the person in front of you. You even get to the extreme. Somebody, I know in graduate school, somebody just said to you something mean, something insulting, something absolutely not comfortable. Like you're the one who got the corner office, and the person who didn't said, yeah, right, you deserve that. What do you see? You're going to fail. Oh, my God, I can't believe they picked you. I would never have picked you. All the people, all our friends in the office wanted me. None of them wanted you. How we doing? All right? It kind of take the fun off of it, didn't it? No, not if you look at it properly. And you have the right to. Are you ready? What just happened in that interaction? You listen to me. The human being has vocal cords. A cat can go, meow, they make a certain range, a dog a certain range, right? Your range of those vocal cords can make sounds come out of your mouth. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Whoa. And it can put them together and string them together to say things like, yeah, good luck. That's somebody's vocal cords making a sound out of their mouth. It's like a dog barking or a cat meowing. It's an animal on the planet Earth making sounds come out of their vocal cords. Wow, that's far out, right? Not only are they making sounds, You heard the sounds, the way they made them, and you understood what they were trying to say. You must be brilliant. Do you understand that? You can listen to these vibrations of the vocal cords that sound very different, don't they? Every sound I'm making is different, and it goes in through your ears, and somehow your brain is so brilliant that you in there understand what this person's trying to say. It should blow your mind. That's how you should feel every time a sound comes out of somebody's mouth. Wow, that's amazing. All right? It's using your higher mind to raise your lower mind. They say, I don't like what he said. It's a miracle that they said it. Okay? If you look at things properly, it's not even just the noise that came out of the vocal cords. That body standing in front of you is 25 trillion living cells. They multiply, they eat, they excrete, every one of them. They're living cells, and there are 25 trillion of them communicating with each other and working together to create that body standing in front of you, including the vocal cords of those cells. All right? And that thing just made noise. Now, how much more fun is life? You get to do whatever you want. You're free. You don't have to do this stupid thing of storing everything that ever bothers you inside of you. So now you're bothered by everything. Is it not true that if you have one traumatic experience, one, at some point in your life, it can determine your entire life? That's how they define traumatic. What is traumatic? It was so uncomfortable that you couldn't let it go. You stored it so strong inside that it keeps coming back up. Everything reminds you of it. It destroys your life. Does it have to do that? No, it does not have to do that. Period. All right? How do I not do it? You learn to handle the fact that things happen outside and they come in and they're not comfortable and then they're gone. I'm not belittling it. It's not easy to let go of. Can it be let go of? Of course it can be let go of. Well, why is it still in there? Because you're holding it in there. Every single time it tries to come back up, you push that thing back down so hard, I can't handle the thought of it. Well, what if you worked on yourself? What if you worked on being able to handle things that right now you can't handle? I ask you this all the time. Can you do that? Can you learn to handle that it's raining when you don't want it to? Could you learn to do that? Could you learn to handle that the driver in front of you is not driving the way you want them to? Can you learn to handle that? Can you learn to handle the noises that are coming out of somebody's mouth because you chose to look at it the way I just told you, thought it was funny? Can you learn that? Are you capable? You can teach a dog to bark when it wants to go outside. You can teach monkeys to maybe they're driving a car. Well, I think you're quite brilliant compared to that. You're extremely trainable. Way more than any other animal. Why don't you bother getting to it? And you start training yourself to do the kind of thing I just talked to you about. To work with the situations that you're not comfortable with so that you're comfortable with them. Why not be comfortable with it? Why not when it rains sit there and say, oh boy, there will be groceries at Publix. There will be fresh fruit at the fruit markets. Because it will, right? Because if it doesn't rain, it won't happen. Instead of saying, oh, I don't want it to rain today. I wanted to go outside. You don't have to be like that. You have the right to raise yourself. You have the right, exactly what we've been talking about. Just take each thing, but start with the simple thing. Don't start with the traumas. Please, don't even touch it. You don't stand a chance. If you're going to learn to play tennis, don't play Borg or the Williams sisters, because you're not going to do very well. If you want to play piano, okay, you want to learn to play the piano? Here's Mozart. Don't do it that way. You want to play the piano? Get the scales. You want to play tennis? Get a coach or a ball thrower. If you want to learn to be okay with the different situations that unfold in front of you, practice being okay. Can you do that? Can you do that? Can you make it fun? It's like a video game. In video games, they eat you and they knock you and you move from one level to another, and everybody goes right back and plays more, don't they? People do that. This is a video game. I'm trying to see, can I handle today? How are you ready? This is my video game. Can I handle reality? So if I sit there and say, did you really say that? Obviously. I would not have heard it. Okay, you said it. Fine. Now the question is, can I handle it? Can I handle that the driver, that the rain, that this person, that just little simple things? That's your scales. That's the practice. You practice being okay. So that again, we go back to that question. It bothered me. Do not deny that it bothered you. Don't play spiritual ego, right? Yes, you don't have to tell somebody, but yes, it bothered me. It bothered me, right? I'm having trouble handling this. Good, it's wonderful. Now what? What do I do about it, or why? Just remember that turning point. Why is this bothering me? What you said, or how somebody's driving, and you'll look inside and you'll say, because I'm blocked, because I've stored all this stuff inside of it. Listen to me, if you're in ecstasy, if you're just feeling love pouring through you, and you catch every light on the way into town, you love it, man. I get to stop and feel this love. If you get stopped by a train with 100 cars, oh, man. If you're okay, everything's okay, isn't it? And if you're not okay, nothing's okay. It all bothers you. Am I telling the truth? Okay, so you practice being okay. You just do the little thing I'm going to talk to you about. Keep raising yourself. Make it fun, all right? Okay, people write all the time. We're at the end here, right? Well, what do I do if I'm practicing and I'm trying to be okay and I fall? I get messed up. And it really bothers me. And I say things that I shouldn't have said, and so on. And then I come back to a conscious state. What do? Simple. It's a video game. You fell down to level 2. Work your way back up. By getting upset? No, getting upset is not going to help you. You're Olympian. You're an Olympic gymnast. And you're on a horse. And you've practiced for 4 solid years. You gave your entire life, day and night. And you slip. Just a little tiny slip. What do? Screw it. Get off the horse. They're amazing, aren't they? They just keep going, don't they? They keep going, and they can do really well. They just let it go. That's what you do if you slip. Let it go. Let it go. You hear me? No judgment, no nothing. I'll do better next time. Thanks for the opportunity to learn. But I was practicing. I was doing good, and I hit it into the net. Okay, good. Try to see how you swung. Make it better next time. That's what you do with your entire life from now on. You just do the best you can to rise above the garbage, to let it go. If you relax in the face of the disturbance, let me start with the small stuff. If you relax in the face of disturbance, you have given it the room to leave. You give it the room to pass through. If you resist and close down and suppress, you stored it more. Make sense? Okay. I wanted to get that main point across. The difference in a life that is spiritually growing is the question, something bothered me, what do I do about it? Something bothered me, why? You're looking inside now. And you're doing your work at the core, at the root, and it will change you. They write from all over the world. It changed my life. It did change your life because you changed your life. You changed how you're working with yourself. Jai Gurudev.